In this short video, we'll highlight the major new updates in MarketSight 10.4. With this release, we've made important improvements to usability in three key areas: crosstab design, charting, and loading and appending data. Let's take a look at crosstabs first. In the Crosstab Designer, we've added this helpful indicator line when dragging variables on the Design tab. This lets you see more clearly where you're placing your variable in the design. The next enhancement is something we've received many requests for, so we added a convenient Transpose button that lets you swap the columns and rows in your design. No more dragging all your columns and rows out of the designer and then putting them back again. Just click this button to toggle back and forth. You can also transpose when the editor is closed. Just click the button in the main action bar. Finally, when you refresh the crosstab preview, your position in the crosstab is maintained during the refresh, rather than returning you to page 1. Now let's move on and take a look at charts. Here, we've made it possible to quickly edit the axis and legend labels when editing or just viewing the chart. Just click this Edit Labels menu item to edit all the labels on the chart at once. I'll make a few edits here, and then click OK to see the changes in the chart. These changes will be saved with this chart, but will not affect the underlying crosstab. Now let's take a look at the many enhancements to the Dataset Labeling Workbook, which is an Excel file that many people use to create labels for their datasets. For starters, this Excel file no longer contains a macro, making it usable by many more people, in particular Mac users. Now, instead of running a macro to create a separate XML file to upload, you just upload the Excel workbook itself. We've also added support for a number of other variable attributes, including categories and missing values, which can now be defined using the workbook. You can now delete any non-required attributes such as labels, descriptions, categories, and missing values using this clear code. You can also create multiple response variables, or MRVs, using the Dataset Labeling Workbook. The final changes in this latest release are in the Append wizard, where we've made it faster and easier to add new waves of data to an existing MarketSight dataset. Now, MarketSight automatically matches variables even if their value labels differ. To help streamline the process, page 2 of the Append wizard now provides a combined view of all available variable matching rules. Additionally, on the manual matching page, you can now display the variable codes if that's what you're familiar with. Finally, by double-clicking on a variable on this page, you can quickly match to the suggested matching variable. Well, that wraps up this video showing the major new features in MarketSight 10.4. In crosstabs, we saw the new Transpose button, the indicator lines, and stay in place on refresh. We also saw how you can edit labels in your charts. The Dataset Labeling Workbook got major improvements, and appending is now easier than ever with improvements to workflow and matching rules. We hope you like these new features, and thanks for watching.